What's up, guys? This is Bobby Douglas, and today we're back again with another full game 2020 NBA draft prospect video breakdown. And today we're going to be looking at Duke guard Cassius Stanley. Cassius Stanley was a very highly touted recruit for only being 4 stars out of high school. I remember Duke wasn't even in his final cut list as a recruit, and then they offered him late, and then he ended up going there. He ended up really impressing a lot of people at the NBA level, and ultimately he played himself into being a borderline first round pick. I'm gonna guess he probably goes in the mid-second, but overall I really like Cassius Stanley's game. I have him just outside the first round. I believe I have him 33rd on my top 100 big board. So yeah, he's a big guard, 6'6", 193. He averaged 12.6 points on 47% shooting and 36% from three, which is all very solid. And yeah, let's just get into it. This game is against Clemson. Duke lost this game, but I tried to find a game where he had his relatively normal performance level, and I figured this was the best one. He had 14 points on 5 of 8 shooting in 29 minutes in this game, and he also had 2 rebounds, but also had 3 turnovers. So, and again, he had lots of games where he scored 4 points and played really a little amount of time, or he went off and he had 27. There were a lot of games that didn't really fit the averages that he had, but overall, this is a game that kind of encapsulates what he's capable of at the next level, in my opinion. So let's get right into it. And again, I want to say, before we start, I do want to say thank you for all the engagement on the Denny Avdia video yesterday. The videos, actually. They were both really good. Both of them are in my top 2 most viewed videos thus far. So yeah, thanks a lot for that. I had a lot of really awesome discussions with you guys about him. And again, a lot of people have disagreements about these prospects, and that's totally fine. This is a draft built on disagreements. So, again, keep commenting. Again, if you want to see any players, in particular, please just comment below who you want to see. I'm really flexible with in what order I do these prospects. I'm just going based on random order, basically. So, yeah, thanks again for the engagement, and remember, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get right into it. So I will make this full screen. He is number 2 in black, Cassius Stanley. And again, I really like him just as a athlete. Remember, he broke the Duke vertical jump record. And again, that was set by none other than Zion Williamson before Stanley got there. So he's number 2 in black. And let's just watch the game. So he's on the left wing right now. So he's got the ball right now. Again, I think he has a pretty decent handle. I think he's a really athletic prospect. I'm surprised people are so low on him because I've been seeing him in the 50s and 60s. I really have him as a top 40 prospect in this class. And that's a pretty safe top 40 as well. He has potential to move up on my big board. So he's in help defense right now. Good job cutting up, staying one pass away. Kind of got caught in Vernon Carey's large body, but he's guarding, I believe that's, actually I don't know who that is on Clemson. Is it Tevin Mack? Maybe? That's just a turnover from Trey Jones, but now he's on the ball. I think he's a pretty good perimeter defender. I think he moves his feet well. He has good lateral quickness. He might want to get stronger because it looks like he gets caught on screens a fair bit. But overall, I do like his defensive upside in the NBA. So he's in the corner right now, and that's a nice play from Trey Jones and Vernon Carey. This game features 4 top 100 prospects for me, 3 on Duke's end, Trey Jones, Cassius Stanley, and Vernon Carey. And then on Clemson, we have Amir Sims, who I believe is number 25 on Clemson. So I'm expecting to do videos on all of those as we roll forward with this channel. So again, here's Stanley. He's running off the ball, and now he's opposite side corner. Again, I really like Stanley's upside in the NBA. I think he's pretty raw offensively, but he still had encouraging shooting numbers, I think. Right there, he did a good job recovering. Not much he could do. He was kind of pigeoned on the block there. So here he is with the ball right now. Let's see what he does in the ball screen. Nothing much. He wasn't a big distributor at Duke. He only averaged 1 assist a game, which is really not spectacular for a wing or a guard player like Stanley. He also averaged 1.9 turnovers a game, so that's also really concerning. Again, it looks like sometimes the game is too sped up for him. He looks sometimes lost when he gets the ball. He'll force plays that aren't necessarily there. And again, I just think he's a very raw prospect overall, but I really buy his athletic upside and his shooting, and I would bet on him figuring things out at the NBA level. I think if he were to stay another year at Duke, I think he would be a surefire top first-round pick. Good job pretty much staying in front there. He kind of got bodied off a little bit. Let's see what he does here. That's a really good finish in traffic. Again, he's big-bodied, strong, finishes through traffic well. I really like his athletic upside. And again, I don't know if we see a dunk from him in this game. I doubt we do, but go watch some of his dunks because they are like scary how high he can get up. Again, you can see he kind of gets lost. He turns his head around a lot on defense, like right there. He's kind of like, you would like to see him maybe drop step and turn to his left instead of his right because he's turning around and he has his back to the ball a lot of times. Again, just his basketball instincts need work, and a lot of people debate whether or not you can really teach basketball instincts well at the next level. I'm kind of a believer that you can. You look at guys like Jaylen Brown. I think he's the first example I go to when I'm talking about basketball instincts because that guy showed very little basketball instincts in college at UC Berkeley. Like, that's a really good defensive play. He read it. He timed it well. He forced a really tough shot. It wasn't a super explosive jump or anything, but it was just enough. It was like a straight arm, and he just kind of forced a shot alteration and ultimately led to a miss. Clemson got the offensive rebound there, but it wasn't really on him. So we will watch these free throws. Again, with his size and strength, I almost see him as more of a 3 in the NBA than a 2 just because his distributing is so weak. Again, only 1 assist per game compared to 1.9 turnovers, so you don't really like to see that from a guard. But if you use him at a 3, I think he can easily defend threes at the NBA level. I think he has a decent enough shot and a decent enough handle and like a decent enough build to be successful on the offensive end as a 3. And again, you're talking about a guy who you're hoping that he becomes a solid rotation player in the NBA. This guy he doesn't have the ceiling of some of these other prospects. I personally think he has a higher ceiling than many other draft gurus do. But that's just my opinion. Universally, he's seen as basically a second-round pick. Let's see what he does here. So he's bringing the ball up, and he's got... All right, so he hasn't really done much offensively yet. I think he took 1 shot, and he finished through contact well. Let's see what he does here. Can we reverse it? No. All right, let's see what he does here. So that was a kind of a bad pass from Trey Jones right there. I don't really blame Stanley for that. Maybe you want to see him bend down and try and catch it, but, what are you going to do? So right now he's in the paint. This year, the streak ends from Gabe DeVoe, and that was correct. Duke ultimately did lose this game. I believe the final score was 79-72. So, again, so Stanley's in the corner right now. Good job staying attached to that shooter. He didn't bite on the help. Ultimately, it leads into a basket for Amir Sims. But the guy who he's guarding is a good shooter, and he stays committed to the help. I think he's really good in denial position on defense. That time's a pretty good catch. Let's see what he does here. Okay, made a smart, safe, simple read there. Let's see what he does. Again, right there you see, it's almost like he needs to work on the timing of his passes, the speed at which he thinks about the game and makes reads and stuff. Right there you saw it was a pretty predictable turnover right there because you just saw him spin around. He got caught in his dribble, and then he ultimately threw it away on a poorly timed and poorly decided bounce pass. So he is out right now, so I will pause it here, and then I will skip ahead to 11:59 is when he comes back in. So let's skip ahead there. Here we go. So again, he's operating out of the corner right now. He spent a lot of time in the corner. Despite not being known as a three-point shooter in college, he still knocked down 36% of his threes, which is a very respectable clip. Did a good job there kind of crashing the glass. Ultimately came up a little bit short. So again, he's following number 10 around. Another knock on him offensively is that he plays a little bit too upright, and he's pretty much a straight line driver at this stage in his development. You can watch him when he's driving. It's very choppy in terms of his movement. He's not a super fluid mover, especially laterally on offense with the ball. But I do think that improves with a little bit more tightening of his handle. So let's see. So good denial position right there. That's probably his best and a good active on-ball defender. Moved his feet really well. Ultimately forces a loose ball. Could have gotten that steal there. But that was a really good defensive sequence from him. Kept his man in front of him. Moved his feet really well. Again, I really buy his potential as a defender in the NBA. And I do think he can guard threes, which is why I think that's probably his better position in the NBA, especially if he doesn't improve his facilitating skills. So they switched that screen, so now he's on the block. That's tough. That's a tough play. He went up strong. At least he didn't, at least he didn't make a business decision and not go up there. Let's see if they show a replay on that. That's a guy, that Amir Sims is big, strong. You can't really expect Cassius Stanley to really go up there. And plus, he was laid over. He probably turned the wrong way. He probably would have been more successful going up and blocking with his left hand instead of reaching across and going over with his right, because that's ultimately what got the foul called on him. So yeah, just again, technical positional awareness, things like that is where he could always improve. His basketball instincts really just aren't fully developed yet. And we saw an example of that right there. And there's Vernon Carey. So again, he kind of got knocked off his spot on that screen. It's not really fair that he's getting Amir Sims setting all these screens on him, because Amir Sims is a really strong defender. See, they call a foul on Hurt, I believe, there. But again, he did a good job staying up. Or wait, no, they didn't call it foul. It's turnover. But did a good job just being in help and just being vertical. If he jumps and learns how to be vertical with those jumps, I actually do think he can be a solid wing rim protector at the NBA. That's just one of those weird plays. That's not really on him. So looks like Stanley's shooting free throws here. So he was a 73.3% free throw shooter, which is very solid. Let's see what he does here. Again, good form on his jump shot, just on his free throw. Missed that one. But again, I buy his outside shooting, I think. Again, 36% from 3, and he shot a lot of three-pointers. This wasn't on a small sample size or anything like that. So I buy him as a shooter. Missed both free throws. You don't want to see that, but again, 73% from the year. Nets out of bounds, but they didn't call that, so that's a shame. That's such a good play from Jordan Goldwire. So again, it looks like he called out that switch, and now Trey Jones is on what was Cassius Stanley's man to start this possession. You got a little buffering action here. It's interesting. And we're back. A little buffering delay right here, so it's back. So Stanley's in the strong side corner right here. Set a little flare screen, got the ball back. Let's see what he does here. Came off a screen. Nothing much. Let's see. Ooh, he pulled up for 3. Drilled it. See, that's a good shot. You know, I like his form. I buy his percentages. I think he's going to be a fine shooter in the NBA. I really do. So right now you see he has 5 points on 2 of 2 shooting. Missed both free throws, though. Again, he got caught in one of those screens, and he was late reacting. Ultimately led to a powerhouse dunk where he was late getting back on the ball. I don't know why this thing is here. There we go. I'll skip this free throw. So again, here is Stanley operating out of the corner. And now he's posting up. Let's see what he does here. I think it's a decent post-up move. Again, he kind of got knocked off his spot. I think, again, he's strong right now. I think he should get stronger. Just at least upper body-wise. That's a tough closeout. You know, he read that well. He got a hand up. I mean, it's not really... You can't really do much about that shot. That was just a nice shot. And I will skip ahead to this. And we got an ad. Interesting. ACC Digital Network. It's an actual, like, channel, so I have to deal with the ads. We're gonna get back to playing. Here we go. Looks like an offensive foul there or something. Little screen. So right now you're actually seeing Stanley playing at the 3 because Duke has Trey Jones and Jordan Goldwire in. See what he does here. Another clean open shot, missed it long. Again, you know, there's always going to be missed shots. I think he's comfortable enough taking those shots, though, so I'm not super worried about him at the next level in that regard. But I do think a fair criticism of Cassius Stanley is really just his basketball overall feel for the game and instincts. I think that's where he really needs to improve. Good job staying one pass away, and now he's a good job sliding his feet and moving there. Cut off a driving lane. Let's see what he does here. Another really good job. Yep. Really good job staying in front and staying in the play. A lot of guys will just give up if they bite for that little pump fake, which he did a little bit. But he managed to get back in a quick enough time in order to still contest any possible shot that would have gone up there. He ultimately passed the ball away. So really good defensive sequence from Stanley right there. Good ball fake. Again, he's not really a big dribbler. where I think he probably should work on that because he's a really athletic kid. Again, really high vertical jump, can throw it down on dudes. And again, he didn't really do much of that at Duke. Again, he's in his grill defensively. Again, he just seems late to react, went under that screen, which, you know, I'm not a huge fan of that. And again, right there, I think he drew a foul there, but again, it was just kind of one of those things where he just kind of like jumped into people, and he just doesn't always look prepared for the ball when it comes his way. But this is overall like a really good defensive sequence from Stanley there. Staying in front, he got beat. He got a little bit beat twice, managed to stay in front and deny any shot. Do we have free throws here? We do. It might be Stanley's shooting though. It is. See, that's picture perfect, clean swish. Another clean swish. Yeah. So. Softball here. That is a good set play from Clemson with the little backdoor cut. Nothing he could really do about that. He had to follow his guy to the opposite side wing, open up a backdoor lane. So here we go. So now he's on the ball. Nothing really happening there. I think he's a good on-ball defender. I just think off the ball he needs a little bit of work working on his instincts and stuff. Changes can hit there? Yeah. Okay, let's skip ahead these free throws. Let's see what he does here. So he's going to get the ball on the break. Let's see if he does anything fun here. No, nothing. Again, got caught up. That's a really good feed from him. That should have been a bucket. Again, he tends to give up his dribble a little bit too early, I would say. You know, and I think more confidence in his handle and just tightening that ability, I think that'll help him a lot in the long run. Again, good job kind of showing and then recovering to his man, letting Verdon Carey deal with Mir Sims in the post. That's not really, nothing much he could do there. There we go. Kick out TV hits this. Bang, another three. He likes that left wing, it looks like. He hit both of his threes from there. It's a good shot, you know. Again, I buy his shooting. Don't know how many times I have to say that, but I buy his shooting. He looked mad there. He traveled right there. Again, he kind of just looked sped up immediately when he touched the ball, just shuffled his left foot for his right. And he's out here and he's back in another minute. So I'll just fast forward through that. 28:05. Here we go. Yeah, so he's backing on this free throw, and then he's back out in about 3 minutes, and then that's the end of the first half video. So. Not really on him there. That was probably a forced pass. And Clemson's in the bonus, so I'll skip these free throws. It almost looked like it looks like he's almost relieved to get rid of the ball at times. He's like too eager to get rid of it because he's afraid of turning it over. That time you maybe want to see him help on that drive because that just to keep him on the perimeter because that at that point the spacing was narrow enough where he could have helped and recovered back to his man if he were to kick out for an open three. Again, that just comes with seasoning and awareness. That was just weird. Good job crashing the glass there. And this will be a layup for Trey, it looks like. Oh, dunk for Matthew Hurt. Or no, that's Alex O'Connell, excuse me. Alex O'Connell's now going to be at Creighton. You can see him operate on the ball. Good job. Didn't really have to fight through any screen or anything. Just good job staying upright and staying. He just pushed out Jack White to, I think that's Newman. That was really funny. We saw LeBron, or Kuzma, I think, do that to LeBron last year, right? Good time shifting over. Maybe you want to see him get in front of the big man there, but then again, he also has a corner shooter to be worried about. So overall, that was a solid play from him. And this is where he's out for the first half. So I'll end the first half video here. Again, thanks for watching, and I will upload the second half video of this same game after this one is finished uploading and published and everything. So again, thank you guys for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe to this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And yeah, keep the comments going. You know, I really like talking with you guys and hearing what your thoughts on these players. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit for the second half video, and I will see you then.